Today I'd like to talk about, a problem that confronts us all at one point or another. And that is we found a great project, and folks have told us that rehab is the way to go. We want to perhaps flip the property, hold it for long term. It really doesn't make any difference because in this case work needs to be done. But where do you start? Well, first of all, it's conventional wisdom, of course, you contact contractors. And of course, everybody says, well, you talk to three. They tell us, these contractors, they tell us what needs doing and, of course, what it's going to cost. And sounds okay, but can we be sure we get what we pay for? Sometimes we do, but more often we don't. Experienced investors and rehabbers try to insulate themselves against losses. It makes sense. We're either business people or we hope to be and make a business out of this. And so how do they try to cover themselves about getting what they pay for? Well, some are sufficiently concerned, perhaps feel they have the aptitude, and they hire their own crews. Maybe they run the job themselves on site, maybe every day. I used to go three times a week, writing checks as they go, or they follow industry standard construction practices. Well, that's important because, as we will discuss today, it's those construction practices that will keep everybody honest, and maybe at the end of the day the contractors are happy and you're happy and you got what you paid for. First of all, there are two primary documents. There are others, of course, lien waivers and other things we can talk about, but at the center of construction practices is a document they call scope of work. And what might that be? Well, architects, when they do plans and specifications, you might have noticed that on the first one or two or three pages, there'll be columns of typewritten information. And if you read that, that information is essentially a narrative description of the work to be done. And all the rest of the sheets are illustrations, where needed, of the work to be done. And it's useful. It is, for all practical purposes, it's the continuing reference for knowing the work's done right as specified. The second major document, and we're not going to belabor this because you can study it. Took me my first project to get comfortable with it. But it's called a contractor's sworn statement. So finally, these two documents, the scope of work, which truly describes exactly the work to be done, and the contractor's sworn statement, which tracks the funds expended and establishes the understanding that you're simply going to pay for the work as it is completed, and there'll always be a record. And if deposits are needed, deposits can be granted on a line item by line item basis as the work continues. If you're unfamiliar with these documents conceptually or in fact, then I don't think it's self-serving for you to, you have to study it. I learned it the hard way over a period of the first year or so I was in the business. Or take my construction practices workshop and my budgeting workshop and the other ones I've developed to guide you through this with minimum pain and try as much as possible to assure that you have a great outcome. So this is Phil Elmes trying to help you get what you pay for. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk soon.